With anything, though, you need to capture their attention and compel them, a lot of times with emotion. With moving, it may not be as emotional as having a brand new floor or a brand new kitchen. Then you can motivate them with happiness and adding value to your home. Moving is more of like a service, like a function. But still, you have to have urgency, have promotions. This week only, save $200 on your move. Call now.
This is the Snowball Effect. You're listening to the Marketing Playbook series, presented by the Snowball Effect podcast. It's growth done right.
Hey, this is Todd, and welcome to the Snowball Effect. This is our Marketing Playbook series, and I'm really excited. I've got Evan Weber. He is the founder of Experience Advertising. Welcome to the podcast today, Evan.
Hey, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
It's great to have you. Evan is he's a real digital marketing expert, really great at just growing revenue, growing traffic. And I'm really excited about our conversation. We're going to be talking about creating, you and I together, a complete marketing strategy for home services. You ready to do this, Evan?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome. Hey, just to kick things off real quickly, help our audience understand a little bit about you. Share something interesting that maybe the normal, person may not know about you.
People that know me will know this, but that I'm an avid Jimi Hendrix fan and a collector. I actually own 8 of his autographs, signed albums. Actually, you can see up there, that's a Jimi Hendrix in the threefold up there.
No kidding. No
But
kidding.
that's actually the one that got away. It was a signed photograph that I was bidding on eBay. This is going back probably 20 years. I was waiting and waiting to snake it at the last second with the last highest bid. And I did that. I snaked it at the last second. And I had all these people contacting me saying, it's not real, it's an auto pen. And they basically scared me out of purchasing this signed photograph of Jimi Hendrix. And I've kind of regretted it ever since because you never really know how authentic these autographs are anyway.
Right.
And
That's the one that got away.
that's the one that got away. My previous partner, we had a free auction site together in the late 90s, early 2000s. He put that together in that little trifold display right there. It's 3 of the same. It's that photograph with the signature. So honestly, it's just as good as a real thing because, again, you never know how authentic these things are. You're just going
Right.
on someone certifying it or the story behind how the person is even possessing it.
I get that, Evan. On a much smaller scale, I'm a little bit of a sneakerhead. And so it's the
Yeah.
same type of a problem with sneakers. Are these knockoffs? Are these on eBay or something like that? I'm insanely jealous. I was just listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about Eric Clapton. And they're saying Eric Clapton, the first time he heard Jimi Hendrix, was like, what am I doing? I can't compete with that. And that's Eric Clapton, like
Yeah.
he's a legend, that's for sure. There's worse passions to have, right?
Worst passions to have. You gotta love Jimi Hendrix. If you don't like Jimi Hendrix, there's something wrong with you. That's
Oh, I love it.
that's
I
my
love it. Well, let's jump in, Evan. I want to pick your brain about a comprehensive, just in your view, a complete marketing strategy, but specifically for home services. That's who we
Yeah.
work with a lot.
Yeah.
You've been in this for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Someone with your background, your experience, you really personify the name of your agency, Experience Advertising, right?
Absolutely.
I want to pick your brain about a comprehensive marketing strategy, but specifically pretend that you've got a nice timeline and
Yeah.
you've got some healthy resources. Walk me through, what would you advise someone if they wanted to create just a nice comprehensive marketing strategy?
Any marketing strategy or digital marketing strategy, and it may be digital plus traditional plus streaming as well. What they call a multi-channel marketing strategy is hitting on all platforms simultaneously. So that's going to be search, that's going to be your paid search, your Google and Bing paid search, your SEO, your free traffic from Google. It's going to be your Facebook posting, your advertising on Facebook and Instagram. That can even extend on to TikTok because TikTok is really good for local advertising. I'm not talking about posting and going viral per se, but running ads on these platforms. So there's going to be search, social. Then you need a really effective website. So The website is more than just a two-dimensional pretty thing. It does need to be aesthetically pleasing, but it has to convey your professionalism, your trustworthiness, your happy customers, gold star reviews everywhere, examples of your work, well-written content, and also have tools as well, like pop-ups or wait, before you go, give us your name and email and we'll get you a free quote, or before you go, call us now, and present them the phone number again. That's called an exit intent pop-up. So these are tools that lay on top of the website, and they could be like email list building tools or retargeting ads where you cookie all the website visitors that you drive from the ads, and then you follow them around when they leave the website, and then you get them coming back to the website. So you create like a loop, an infinite loop there. And it's not infinite, it extends for a certain amount of days. Those are some digital strategies. Then there's running local TV, even local radio. Print used to be all the rage at one time. If you were doing everything, you would include print in there as well. Valpak and these different mailers. There's also another thing called a post pilot, where when they visit your website, it can kick out a postcard to mail them a postcard right from a website visitor that doesn't even divulge who they are. So you have to not only be advertising on the platforms effectively, and it's not easy at all. A lot of companies will use an agency, but then the agency's effectiveness is a huge question mark. They may handle it in-house. They may or may not have the expertise to really manage these things in-house. So it's problematic in that you have to have the right people masterminding it and managing on all the platforms. And if you outsource it to an agency, then you have to make sure they're doing a good job, which isn't easy to do as an owner or a marketing manager of the company. So you definitely have to hit on all the platforms simultaneously. Now there's driving traffic to the website and letting the website do what it should. And again, there's a spectrum there of effectiveness. They have to be prompted to call the office to set an appointment. They have to be prompted to inquire, fill out the contact form to be called back to set up the appointment if that's how it's going to happen. It all comes back to website effectiveness when you're driving traffic to the website. Then there's generating leads through platforms like Facebook. You can run what are called Facebook lead ad campaigns, which are lead generation forms that are presented to people on Facebook. You look on your phone, it says, need a new roof, need your floor done, need a bathroom remodel, whatever the ad is proposing. And then they say, oh yeah, I'm interested in a free estimate. You click the button, it submits your name and email right to the company, right to the business. So you hook that into your CRM, and then you can have your salespeople call that person to set up the appointment. You can kick them out a nice automated email flow. So that's using online advertising to generate leads. And Google does it as well, but Facebook, they really have done it well. But you can do it through Google as well. Google also has a leads program for service providers, for service companies that a lot of companies that I've worked with in the home services have utilized. They have a lead providing service that's outside of your Google Ads campaigns. It's a separate, you say like, I'm willing to pay $80 a lead, or these are the categories and these are the areas. And they present your ads to the searchers and generate the leads for you, and you pay them on a per lead basis. So that's a nice additional type of campaign for home services. And organically, you need a good SEO foundation on the website, meaning content. You need well-written content that could be from a person or from a chat GPT, from an AI writing service, where you crank out amazing content about what the company does, the services, for the services pages, for all the locations you service. You can create location pages on the website. That's more of an SEO play, a search engine optimization play. And then, of course, there's the local Google listings where you rack up the reviews. That's on a local or regional level. You need to be acquiring as many reviews as possible to leverage the Google local results. So to be doing everything is a lot of things. It could be 10 or 15 things simultaneously, channels. And that's why you need someone on it in-house, ideally, that sort of knows what they're doing, or working in conjunction with an agency that's hopefully going to deliver properly. But I always recommend having an in-house person to work with the agency. If it's me or it's my agency, it's always best to be able to interface with someone who at least is on marketing 10 to 20 hours a week, right? But it is a full-time job in a big enough firm, in a big enough company. It's definitely a full-time job to be managing marketing. That's the best scenario where I can help the company the best, or the agency, and all the channels can be going on simultaneously like they need to.
That was a fantastic answer. I asked you for a comprehensive, like, hey, if we've got all the things to throw at it that we want to, whether that's internal people, agency, and then really just there's a lot of plates to keep spinning, right? All the way from your search and your social, your website, everything that you can do there to turn visitors into leads. And then I love what you said about the retargeting that goes on after the fact, or the list generation, so you can grow from there. But then you even touched on some of the offline things. So help me understand. Let's say someone looks at that and goes, okay, great. That gives me a nice framework if I've got all the resources to throw at it. If they don't have the resources, what are some of those things you'd peel off to distill it down to the most important components? What would those most important components be for somebody that's on a tighter budget?
Website effectiveness is always going to be on the list. So you have to prioritize making the website as impressive and convincing as possible. So that is something that you can work with a web developer, a web designer, and a content source or ChatGPT to crank out. Let's say you have an About Us page. You take the About Us page, you pop it in there, say, write this better, and it cranks it back out, and it's the most amazing thing you've ever read. So you pop that on the About page. So you can go page by page and retool all the content and make it not only better written, but even inspiring them to contact you. Like, you tell it, make this better, but also put a call to action at the end to give us a call, to contact us for a free quote. And then it'll weave that sort of urgency into the content. And even that extends to the ads people run. They need to be well written and well composed, and the AI can help with that. But the minimum basic with a budget, now people need to realize that the budget dictates the amount of traffic you're going to gain to the website. It correlates. So spending 1,000 a month is going to get you less inquiries than spending 5,000 a month. So the minimum basic, in my opinion, are Google ads, but Bing ads could work well as also with a very finite set of keywords. If it was a roofing company, it would be roofing repair near me, roofing company near me. That extends to all the remodeling types and all of that. So you want to keep the keyword list very finite through Google, and you want to set your bids to go no more than $2 a click, which is called manual bidding. A lot of companies don't get the bidding strategy, they call it, correct. They let Google dictate what they're going to pay per click, which elevates the cost per click typically, and you get less traffic for the money. So it's really important that that's managed like that. So people searching for your product or service should always convert the best. So Google and Bing, they call it Microsoft advertising now, but on a low daily budget, I would start at maybe $30, $40 a day. And then I would have the website, they call it pixeled, where you add Facebook's code to the website. And then when they bounce from the website and they go on Facebook or Instagram, they see your ads following them around, or videos. So it could be like a vertical video saying, hey, check out Evan's remodeling. You were just at our website. How about a free quote? Something to that effect. But you can follow people around on the web, on websites, on like big news websites, CNN, Fox, all the big news websites, through different services. There's one called AdRoll, another called Criteo. These are third-party retargeting platforms. So it's really important to be retargeting if you're seeing any amount of traffic to the website and spending money to get it there. So therefore, you could be on all the articles they're reading on the web, news articles when they go on Facebook or Instagram, even when they go on TikTok or YouTube. So you can be retargeting people at a $10 or $20 a day budget on each platform. So let's say your budget was 100 a day. You would be spending probably 70 or 80 on Google, and you'd probably spend 20 or 30 on retargeting campaigns just to create that loop. That's where I would start. Search is always going to be where they're most interested, but you have to run it a certain way. The match types are important. If you run it on the wrong match type, like broad match, it could bring you extraneous clicks and your money will be going to waste. So you have to do it on either exact match or phrase match, which means here's my keyword set. I want the search terms people are searching to be very close to my keyword set, because what happens is your ads will show up for things that aren't exactly related to what you do. If you're remodeling bathrooms, you might come up for some bathroom related search that just isn't related to what you do, and you'll pay for the click. And so that'll dilute the budget and get you less traffic for the money. Back to managing it, you have to have someone experienced actually managing the account, so you know you're only getting the right keywords that are triggering your ads to bring them to the website. Yeah, that would be the minimum basic campaign.
That makes a lot of sense. Did I understand you correctly? You would divide a budget, like let's say a paid budget, you divided about 70% on getting them to your website and about 30% following them to bring them back. Did I hear that
It might be
correctly?
a little less. It might be 10 to 20% following them around. It depends. When you start doing this, you have to build up a lot of people into what's called a cookie pool. So all the people that are bouncing from the website are, then it's 100, then it's 1,000 people. So over time, that grows into a bigger audience. And initially, your retargeting won't even spend much, or it'll just be hammering the people 20 times a day, which you don't want. That's why you have to start the daily budgets very low, like $5 a day or even $10 a day. So you're not wasting money. It's like diminishing returns. If there aren't enough people in the audience, it'll just show to the same 100 people or 500 people multiple times a day, which can be okay. It depends what the strategy is. You can serve them 10 different ads, all different roofing jobs or all different bathroom remodeling projects, what it looked like when it was done or before and afters. And if you have enough variation in your ads, you can get away with having a high frequency like that. But if they're seeing the same ad over and over again, then you get into the annoying advertiser realm. So it is about having a large variety of ads as well.
I love that. I want to ask you a little bit about the messaging in the ad itself, on the website, and then maybe even some of those retargeted ads. Let's say we're working with a moving company,
Yeah.
for example. We work with a lot of movers. What are some of the best practices, or what would you tell a moving company as far as the messaging on the ad itself, and then what waits for them when they click on that ad? Any direction that you'd give there?
Well, urgency is always the thing to do. Maybe if there's a promotion or a special you can motivate them with. That's another great reason to use the AI writers, is because they do such a great job with urgency. You just sort of tell it like, this is what I want to convey, and then but make it more urgent, and it'll create your ad text and your headline to be more urgent. Looking to move? We can do it today. Just adding urgency, adding promotions. When they initially hit the website, it's important too, because something like moving, there's some imminence to it's happening soon. Regardless, one way or the other, it's happening soon, most likely. With anything, though, you need to capture their attention and compel them a lot of times with emotion. With moving, it may not be as emotional as having a brand new floor or a brand new kitchen. Then you can motivate them with happiness and adding value to your home. Moving is more of like a service, like a function, but still you have to have urgency, have promotions. This week only, save $200 on your move. Call now. We have enough calls to action. Have all the bells and whistles like customer reviews and testimonials and gold stars. If people don't see gold stars and testimonials, they leave immediately. You can't even do it effectively without a lot of what they call social proof.
Where would you bake that social proof throughout this journey?
All over the place. You could throw in a customer testimonial in the ad itself. And like Google Ads, you can put 5,000 gold stars and 5,000 reviews. You can put it on the landing page. I've had clients where they'll run it like all the way across the header of the website. They'll put like a strip of up there of 10,000 5-star reviews, just bragging about it, to be honest. But you have to do a good job of accumulating them and asking for them, asking for the Google review, asking for whether it's Trustpilot or whatever third
Mhm.
party tool they're using to solicit the reviews. It's harder to get them with a service company than, say, an e-commerce company that's doing a lot of like website transactions. They're easy to get then. But the service companies, it's a little harder. So you have to try a little harder on the phone, mentioning it, sending email follow ups. Most review collection tools are automated. It emails all the customers after the fact and asks them for a review. So, yeah, amping up your reviews is always a must.
As far as some of the retargeting, some of that rebranding that goes on, have you ever incorporated video testimonials into any of that? Or have you ever seen
Mm,
that be
Yeah,
a successful
Yeah,
approach?
that's the common tactic I like to use. The video strategy, those are hard to get though, to be honest with you, but there are tools that collect them. And you can incentivize the customers. Hey, record a vertical video for us and we'll give you a $20 gift card. So you can incentivize the asking for the video reviews. Yeah, you can put video reviews on the website. You can put them in the ads themselves that are following people around. It's great. You just have to edit them properly. You can make a collage video. You could even have what's called a carousel ad, which has 5 individual videos in each ad that they can swipe through and watch each video. And then above, you can say, read all of our wonderful testimonials and happy customers. And we have 5,000 gold star reviews. And you can really hype it up. But yeah, that's a strategy. It's kind of like an influencer video, but it's a customer testimonial video, which is also highly effective, like an influencer style video would be. And you can get them done through Fiverr, like that, the outsource work Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. You can hire people on there that are spokespeople that'll make you these videos for a couple $100 each, and you give them the script. You have ChatGPT write the script. Say, here, I'm a roofing company. I want to write a script. I want to get the people excited. 30 seconds long. You crank out the script. You send it to them. You pay them the money. A few days later, you've got your first influencer style video promoting your company. They can put your logo in there. They can add text of what's being said, like bells and whistles, onto the video itself. So this is a thing that has evolved. That is, as opposed to a company overview video, you can
Right.
use those as well on the website, maybe even in the ads. But it's the vertical videos, the influencer style videos, and the testimonials that really work well these days.
You said a lot of great things there. When you really get into the reviews and the referrals, the video testimonials, that's when you're really speaking my language and our language over here at Snowball. You've really painted a picture of how much work and how much strategy it takes to bring someone and turn them into a customer. And then we really specialize in after you've done all that work and you've turned them into a customer, let's now turn them into an advocate that is creating those video testimonials, that is creating those reviews, and then obviously that is bringing their friends and family for a referral. So I think that piggybacks nicely on what we do here at Snowball. But so many questions. You mentioned AI, and I'm always attracted to how can we incorporate AI? We still want our marketing to be authentic, right? But where can we leverage AI? You talked about these different AI tools that are used for crafting messaging. What are some of your favorites?
I use some of the other ones to do certain things. Like some of them are better at pulling statistics and more recent data from the web. ChatGPT isn't as good as that, but it's phenomenal at writing and understanding what you're asking it to write. So I use it for everything from email subject lines, email content. They're having a hard time thinking of what to write their next email blast about, which all these companies need to be blasting monthly, if not weekly emails. Most companies don't do the email thing frequently enough because they don't know what to blast out. So you can just feed it some ideas and you can say, hey, write an email to all my previous customers or all our recent leads and tell them about we just launched a new service or we have a promotion going on this month. And it'll write it for you, write the subject line, you just paste it in there and blast it out. Things like that. Ad headlines. You're running an ad on Facebook, promotion for this month, tell it to write you some headlines, write some ad copy. So anything where content's involved, it should be going through there, in my opinion, because it exceeds what even a paid professional copywriter is capable of, in my opinion. I mean, there's some good ones out there, but No human can write in these type of tones. But the thing about the AI tools is you have to practice, you have to use it, you have to start using it on a daily or weekly basis to really hone it to get the content you want out of it, because it'll spit out something different for everybody. You can also, like I said, feed in content. Take your About Us page, feed it in there, say, write this better or write this more exciting, and then boom, it cranks it out amazingly. Or the homepage content or the location pages. So you can also use it to build out the site with more pages. If you have a WordPress site or Wix or whatever, where you can build a blog posts or additional pages, you can be cranking out flooring jobs in Fort Lauderdale, flooring jobs in Miami. You could have a page on your site targeting all the different locations you service with the different services you provide, and you can start increasing the page count on your website, which can increase your free traffic, your SEO traffic. So anything where content used to be a drag, it's not anymore. They have to get comfortable using it as a tool, and their staff in the office. It can also analyze spreadsheets, for gosh sakes. It's phenomenal. You can have it do a lot of different things outside of writing content. That's what I use it for, because I operate in advertising and marketing. You have to play around with it though to see what it spits out and if you're happy with it, and then iterate from there. No, take this out, put this in, and eventually you arrive at greatness.
What you're saying is leverage AI to make some things more efficient and to increase your output. But you're exactly right. It takes a lot of give and take, right? With, let's say, Chat GPT. What did I hear once? That Chat GPT is like a hungry intern that just got their creative writing degree. They require a lot of instruction, some guidance on tone, and just a lot of training. And what I have found as I've engaged with this, it's actually made me a better marketing leader and a better marketing communicator, because I'm getting practice right in ChatGPT at articulating what our brand is, what our tone is, and specifics about what we need to do. So then when I'm communicating with my team, it's like, oh yeah, I can now articulate that because I've been practicing on ChatGPT. So as a marketer, I find it as a great refining tool to where we're now all on the same page because we're all engaging with ChatGPT. It's doing some of the heavy lifting, but we're giving it the instructions, the training, so that it can become just a great team member for us.
I agree. You have to feed content into it to get similar content out of it or the right tone. It's also good with strategy. You can ask it anything, but I still go to Google. I still do the traditional search thing for websites. But just as far as business goes, you can ask it for advice. I'm looking for more married couples in Atlanta, Georgia for roofing, and how should I be finding them? Or what kind of messaging should I be using? It'll just spit out a bunch of great ideas so you don't have to think of them. It's like having another brain, but the other brain is millions of brains over there.
Have you ever tried? I'm just curious because I have a bit of a commute, and I'll turn on the audio version of ChatGPT, and I'll be thinking out loud of strategy for our team or a new post. Maybe I had a thought today and a new post I want to create, and I will just have a conversation with it. First of all, it's a fantastic listener, and it always gives me these, "Hey, great idea, Todd," and so it gives you these affirmations. But on a serious note, it'll actually spit back some really legitimate ideas that then I can refine with my thinking, kind of like what you and I are doing here. So I find it to even be just a great brainstorm or a sounding board for things that I want to try. This has been super helpful, Evan, especially a company that has a limited budget, right? Like you said, you've got a million brains here that you can tap into and get to work for you. I can really see this helping home service companies that need to stand out from their competitors. We've got home service companies that maybe in their local area, there's just a ton of competition, right? Help me understand, how should these home service marketers think about their competition, and how should that play a role in their strategy?
It's a tough one for the home services industry. Normally, I would shy people away from bidding on their competitors' keywords, for instance, or their company name. But in this instance, it's not a bad idea, because Like certain roofing companies, certain remodeling companies, they run ads, they have a bigger name brand. So you can tap into that, for instance. But it's risky. If I'm a roofing company like down here, Paul Baines Roofing has been around for years. They run a lot of TV. Everyone knows them. They've just been running TV for so long that they're just who you think of. So, as a roofing company wanting a little bit of that market share, you could make your ads come up when someone searches for their company name. Now, the problem with that is it sounds good in theory, but these could be previous customers looking for some customer service. They're still going to click on your ad, charge you $3, and then back up and go to Paul Baines' website. So it's risky. It's risky. Now, if you can get the clicks cheap enough, then maybe you can get some leads out of that and some inquiries out of that. They call it competitive bidding. It can be risky. So it's not what I would recommend first. It's kind of like a complementary to a comprehensive strategy. Okay, we're maxed out under people looking for roof repair in the area or a new roof in the area. Once we're maxing out all of that search, which the thing about search is you can never be buying all your keywords. There's more search volume than most companies could ever spend on a daily basis. So that shouldn't ever be an issue. But if you did want to mix in some competitive company name bidding, you could do that just as long as you can control the cost per click, keep it under $1. But what you would do is you could put a page up on the site, us versus them. That's a common tactic that companies use when they do that competitive keyword bidding thing. But there isn't a lot you can do outside of that. I believe in studying the competitors and taking their best ideas and making it your own, but a better version of that. So you got to look around at all their websites and say, oh, look how they're doing their reviews. Look, they're putting it up here. Oh, look, they have this over here. A lot of established companies have gone through a lot of website iterations and changes over time. So a lot of times where they are now is 10 years or 20 years in the making, and they've added all the things to the website that you need now, but you just didn't realize it. Emulation is the sincerest form of flattery. Taking their good ideas and just putting it on your own website, but making it a little bit better.
I love that so much. You just struck a chord with me because it's something that we talk about a lot, which is find something that your competitors are doing. Maybe it's a piece of content, right? And it's
Yeah.
helpful. How can we take this content and just take it to the next level? Maybe we embed video. Maybe we summarize things more concisely. So, in the marketplace of helpful content, ours rises to the top. I love that. Anything else you would do as far as watching your competitors and incorporating that into your
No, I
strategy?
mean, you always need to be looking at their messaging, looking at what angle they're taking, seeing if it's a good one, seeing if you can emulate it, where they're running ads. Okay, they're on TV. Maybe we need to be running a little bit of TV. Oh, they're showing up in the mailbox. Maybe we need to incorporate some postal in there, postcards triggered from the website visitors, trying to find things that they're not doing that you can do, like the triggered postcard thing or running retargeting ads where they're not. You can just be doing things that they're not, that are smart ideas. You're never going to overpower their branding. You're never going to be able to sort of steal people away, in my opinion, except maybe on a limited basis that could happen. But you can surely have more impressive content on the website, more reviews, more ads following them around, better ads following them people around, better email follow-ups, better email blasts, just doing everything at a higher level than the competition from what you can deduce from what they're doing. You can't always know what all they're doing. I don't believe in like obsessing on it at all. I definitely don't believe in it because I believe each company has to forge ahead with their own. Like, for instance, bringing on a service like yours, that's a smart idea that can lead to more customers from the customers they're already getting and they're already paying for. So perhaps their competitors aren't doing that. That's a great idea. Do things your competitors aren't that are good ideas. That's a way to make progress and try to catch up and gain that market share.
You said a lot of good things there that I love as far as, hey, consider being on some of the same branded search terms that maybe they are. Consider that, understand its risks, and maybe create a nice landing experience where it's us versus them. I think that's a really good specific insight. But then look for things that they're doing, look at doing them better, and then look for gaps where there's some opportunity there. I think that's some really practical insight. You have been really generous with your time. Let me just ask you this final question. Evan, if you had 1 minute with a home service marketer, someone who's over their marketing, what would you tell them they need to focus on?
Well, there is no one thing. I tell companies a lot in the services space: reviews and referrals, the two R's. Cultivate as many reviews as possible and get as many referrals going on as possible. That will help the business tremendously. But that's not even digital marketing related. It bleeds into it, it crosses over, but the two R's, reviews and referrals, you can never go wrong cultivating those two things. And then with advertising or digital marketing, you just have to be on all the platforms that make sense where people are searching, and then following them around when they leave the website. You don't have to spend 5 grand a month or 50 grand or 10 grand. You can spend a couple grand and get a really good influx if it's managed properly. You can also blow the money if it's not managed properly. So there is a lot to be said for effective management and also an effective website that's ever improving. So consult with experts, try to find them, people like myself. I'm happy to talk to anyone that might be viewing this webinar or listening, or friends of Snowball, and give them my feedback on what they're doing and what they could be doing or should be doing and whether I can help them or not. I'll still help them get the right strategy, at least know what the right strategy should be. And then if they can bring me on to help them out, we can discuss that as well. But I'm always getting on the phone with people just to drop strategy on them and without expecting anything.
Well, the first time you and I spoke, after 20 minutes of talking to you, I realized this guy enters every conversation and adds value, like instant insights that we can
Yeah.
leverage. And that's what you brought today. So thank you for being so generous with your time, Evan. I really appreciate it. If somebody wants to keep this conversation going,
Yeah.
they want to reach out, they want to pick your brain, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah. My email is Evan, EVAN, at experienceadvertising.com. They can go to the website, experienceadvertising.com. They can hunt me down on LinkedIn. I'm a very active LinkedIn user, and I'm always sharing videos. Let's connect on there and help each other get ahead by liking each other's posts, things of that nature. And I'm always dropping strategies on there on a daily basis.
I just tell my audience to go on LinkedIn, look up Evan Weber,
Yeah,
follow him on LinkedIn. Like every day, he's posting really insightful things. He's crushing it on LinkedIn.
thank you.
But also go to Experience Advertising,
Mhm.
and there's a nice little, hey, get a free analysis of my site. He just offers
Yeah,
a ton of resources, and get on a call with him and just see what value he brings to the table. So, Evan, thank you so much for joining the podcast today. This has been really insightful and really helpful to our audience. So I sure appreciate it.
amazing. Thanks for having me.
And to our audience, thank you for joining the Snowball Effect, the Marketing Playbook series. We'll see you next time.